we have a perfect reputation of starting and ending on time. So with that being said, if I can please have everyone's attention, as we like Union Baptist Church. If this is your friend form, my name is Kim Moses, and I'm glad you're here. It's important that we all know what the candidates' platforms are and what their intentions are if they are elected to the positions that they are running for. One thing we also do here is we start everything out with prayer.
Good evening. We've already had some prayer. Our Father and our God, we thank you for this another day, that your grace and mercy has kept us and that has allowed us to be here for this political forum. We bring the needs of our city, our nation, and our government before you this evening and ask that your blessings on behalf of this political forum. We ask that you will grant godly wisdom and mercy to each person running for office, as well as those that are presently in authority, that the kingdom and righteousness of God will be manifested in all, and in each person will act according and in obedience to the power of God that flows through us. We thank you and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Pastor Harrison is going to be our moderator in charge, and when he comes, he's going to give the rules up to this evening's event.
Well, good evening to you. We are grateful again to God for another chance to come together and to hear what candidates have to say that they plan on doing for this great city. I'm here to give you the rules, and we ask that you would please abide by that. The restrooms to be used are down those steps, and they're in the older building. These are not available at this particular time. And so we ask you to, we do not have booing. We do not have cussing. Y'all will catch that in a minute. We do not have snide comments from the audience. I don't care whether you like someone or not. We are here to learn. We are here to hear. I need to apologize because the air conditioner is not working. It has been working for the past 2 hours. And now when it's time for the political forum, the air conditioner is singing, "I shall not be moved." The rules are, and there are no rebuttals. Each candidate will come up one by one. They will have 1 minute for their opening statement. Then they will have 7 minutes for questions and answers. And then there's 1 minute for their closing statement. There will be no questions from the floor. We already have a plethora of questions that have been prepared ahead of time for each and every candidate. So with that being said, I'm going to ask that Anita Davis would come forth, and Marty Hume and Renee DeSalvo, if they would please come forward at this time. Those that are running for judge, if they would please have a seat here on this nice, long, padded pew. And then we're going to, and I'm going to ask that they would come and have a seat as well. Come on, Anita, I'll let you sit down here, okay? Want to get them seated before we hear from issue 1. You have 5 minutes to share that. Cassandra's going to come for that. And then after she is done, we're going to hear about issue 2, and Connie is going to come. So I'm going to ask Cassandra if she would please come at this time.
Hello, hi. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the Union Baptist Church for hosting this forum and and providing me the opportunity to discuss issue 1, the renewal of the Mahoney County Senior Services Levy. This levy will not increase your taxes. Since voters first approved the senior levy in 2016 and renewed it with overwhelming support in 2020, this levy has quietly but powerfully changed the lives of older adults and their caregivers. Because of these funds, older adults have received more than 830,000 home-delivered meals and nearly 400,000 hours of personal care services, which includes assistance with bathing, dressing, and grooming. In addition to these services, the levy provided minor home modifications to keep them safe in their homes, emergency response systems, and adult protective services. The levy has also funded community programs such as the Senior Farm Market Program, which provides fresh produce to older adults while also supporting our farmers. Recreational opportunities, which reduce social isolation, like our MyCap Senior Center right here in Youngstown, and the Mahoney County Sheriff's Senior Unit, which strengthens the safety net around our most vulnerable neighbors. What makes this levy unique is that it helps older adults who fall in the gap. Those who don't qualify for Medicaid but still need a little extra support to live safely at home. And it does so with great stewardship. Over 98 cents of every dollar goes directly to services. With Mahoney County's 60+ population growing rapidly, the need for these supports isn't going away. Support for the Mahoney County Senior Levy isn't just about someday I might need these services. It's about making sure our parents, grandparents, friends, and neighbors age with dignity today while saving taxpayer money in the long run by preventing premature nursing home placement. That's why renewing the Senior Services Levy is not just a compassionate choice, it's the smart one. Thank you, and please support issue 1, the Mahoney County Senior Services Levy.
Thank you so much. At this time, Connie?
Sorry, I was in the back of the room. I want to thank everybody for having us today. I come to you from a little different perspective for issue 2, which is renewal for NCDD. I am a mom, and I have a student served by the NCDD. I have 2 typical children that I had who were healthy and went through the local public school system. But my Ryan, my middle child, needs a little extra help. He was born 10 weeks too soon and has a multiple, I'm gonna move this down a little short, but has multiple disabilities due to the prematurity and some other issues that he has. Ryan is blind, he's in a wheelchair, he's nonverbal, so you can imagine that's a little bit of a challenge when you go to send him to school. The MCDD has done a wonderful job and has provided us a lifeline for our family and for Ryan. It is a family for him. It's another sanctuary. And no one ever expects to have a child with special needs. We're not guaranteed anything when we start planning for parenthood, or it just happens upon us. There are no guarantees for a healthy, typical child. So when you have a child with special needs like Ryan, you very quickly realize how much you need that village to help you raise that child. And that is what issue 2 provides for those of us who have special needs children. At Leonard Kurtz, it's a place where Ryan is understood and cared for, and gives him a little respite from me as his mother. He gets a little tired of me sometimes. But the teachers, the aides, the nurses, the custodians, the bus drivers, everyone at MCBD is wonderful, and they provide selflessly for all of these students. And that's why I would like you all to vote yes for issue 2. MCBDD, the Mahoney County Board of Developmental Disabilities, is more than just Leonard Kurtz School. They provide early intervention for early childhood development for over 600 students in Mahoney County, on all the way up into adulthood for our special needs population. And sometimes, we hope that all of our students and all of our special needs people have family and that support system around them, but that's not always the case. And that is when MCBDD comes to the rescue, and they provide services, and they oversee services given to our special needs population when they can't speak and fight and advocate for themselves. That's what MCBDD is there for. So this is a renewal, like the last levy that you heard about. It is not asking for new tax dollars. It's not going to raise your taxes or any monies that you pay towards it. It is the same as it's been since 2001 when it first got approved. And so we're looking to get that renewed yet again, like every other 5 years that we've had to do this. A vote for yes for issue 2 will help keep our village strong for my son Ryan and other families across Mahoney County that use the services of MCBD. I appreciate the time. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to pass them to the superintendent in the back of the room.
Thank you so much. Anita Davis, would you come forward at this time? Gloria, glory.
Do it.
I'm right here.
Oh. Okay, I need to go back to bed now.
Give us 1 minute introduction, and then we'll start our questions and answers.
I don't like putting fear in your face, by the way.
You try.
Hi, I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Anita Davis, and I am running for the office of President of City Council. Thank you for having me here, and bear with me. I am currently the 6th Ward City Council representative. And this office that I'm seeking, it is a citywide position. So even though you don't live in the 6th Ward, you can still vote for me. Okay. Wow.
First question. The role of President of Council is to preside over meetings, to maintain order, and ensure governing rules are followed. How does that prepare you in the event that the current mayor is unable to fulfill his duties for the remainder of his term?
Actually, that is one of the reasons why I'm running, because I want to see this position changed. I'm prepared to run because of my experience on city council as 6th Ward representative, but for someone coming from the outside, I don't think they're properly prepared for this position, nor do I think the position as it is written allows them to be prepared. I think it needs to be changed. It requires a vote from the citizens of Youngstown, a city charter change, so you can enhance the role of President of Council, allow the President of Council, by the way, to sponsor legislation, to vote in place of the time, and to have a seat at the mayor's table when there's a staff meeting. So you are prepared with the information for the briefings.
Next question is, you have previously said President of Council had no real responsibilities other than breaking tie votes as long as the mayor is healthy. If elected as council president, what new responsibilities would you create to enhance that position?
Okay, first off, the President of Council does not break a tie right now. The President of Council has no vote, 0. And again, the President of Council cannot sponsor legislation. That is why I'm asking, campaigning. After I get elected, I will campaign to go through and have that charter change made, so that the President of Council does have more responsibilities than to be the person who's there in case the mayor gets tapped for a much better job.
Okay, then how do you define effective leadership in a city council setting? And how would you foster collaboration among council members?
Okay, because it would also require me to have the support of my colleagues on city council. Fortunately, so far, I know there's at least one other person, because Mike Ray, who, he and I ran for this position during the primary, and we were both in agreement that these changes need to be made. And I think I have enough of a relationship with my colleagues that I can show them that this would enhance what's best for the city of Youngstown, and without taking away any of their authority.
Next question. What do you see as the most urgent issue facing council, and how would you lead to address it?
Most urgent. The most urgent thing is not something the city council can do, but it's still the most urgent thing, and that is about our crime in our city. We can do it through our position, through our words, urging people to be responsible, because the city of Youngstown did not cause our crime, did not cause our homicides, and nor is it responsible for changing it. But we can't try to be that voice. Better. We can get rid of the shackle. We can get rid of that creates our city. And I think our city council job at our town halls and things like that, to say, to go out to the street and take the people through legislation.
Okay. What accomplishments have you made, and what is the feedback from your board that would aid the work that you want to do if elected council president?
My accomplishments. Let's start with what I was just talking about, and it's not much, because I'm not the be all and end all, honestly. But since I've been on city council, the homicide rates of my ward has gone so far down, it's unreal. We had a Shell station, and it was the #1 shooting gallery. Everything that was wrong was at that Shell station. We led at the Shell station and called for police services. Those things have come down. I don't say it was me. I say me walking with other folks, marching, working with the police department, ensuring that we have more cameras and things, a lot more cameras up there. All those things have come together to bring down that crime rate, because it's always about public safety. Always. That's always the #1 thing. And I have worked and helped sponsor legislation to make sure that our police officers have all the tools that they need to help bring that thing down.
So with that being said, what reforms or improvements would you advocate for in how city council operates?
This is one that I was a Youngstown police officer for 36 years. And I'm gonna say something that most cops don't like me to say. I think we need a police civilian review board. I think when we have that, we'll have even more accountability and more responsiveness to our community. And that, it's almost the equivalent when we brought in the body cameras on the police officers. The body cameras, the civilian review board, pardon me, and the civilian review board, I think would go a long way to make the police department, police officers more accountable.
Give us your closing statement.
Again, my name is Anita Davis. I'm asking for your vote for city council president on November 4th. I can tell you that I will work for you. I can't say I will work as much as I did these past 8, 9 years, like I did in my ward, because honestly, that was a pace that was a true challenge. But I will be there, and I will be committed to you to give you my best, my very best. Okay, I will not slack off. And I say, look at my record, see if I've lied in my past, see if I haven't given my best. I am out there for my residents in 6th Ward, and I will be out there for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. come forth at this time?
Good evening.
Good evening. Give us your opening statement, and then we'll go with questions from there.
I want to thank Union Baptist, Pastor Harrison, all the people in the audience today, as well as those watching at home on the live stream. I appreciate this opportunity to talk a little bit about my campaign for next time municipal court judge. I am the Democratic candidate for judge, and I see this as the culmination of my 40 years of practice as an attorney in the city of Youngstown. I've been in downtown Youngstown for my entire career. I've been a prosecutor for 24 of those years, 17 in the county courts, which have the same jurisdiction as the Youngstown Municipal Court for misdemeanors and traffic violations and similar crimes. And then I had 8 years at the Mahoney County Prosecutor's Office in the Felony Division, as well as 4 years as Youngstown's law director. So I know the city well. I feel I have the judgment and the character to serve you as a judge. Thank you.
Let me ask this question. Why are you seeking the position of judge?
Well, I think it's a matter of judgment, okay? And I have a history of working for the community good throughout the course of my career. I've worked on numerous volunteer organizations, starting with the Youngstown Area Community Action Agency. I've been involved with the Community Leadership Coalition for Education, the Homeless Coalition, Fifth Avenue Neighbors is my local neighborhood group. I've been involved in making this community better for my entire career. I've done that when I was a law director. I did that when I was a prosecutor, where I tried to make the community safe. And I believe as judge, I will be successful in making our community safer, better, and stronger.
In today's hyper-political climate, how would you keep partisan politics out of your court?
Well, first of all, we are living in unique times today. Okay, you can't watch your evening news without saying things that are unprecedented in American history. And I don't think that just because you're a judge means you're going to turn your eyes away from what you're seeing, okay? I have a history of working on behalf of people who have been victims of discrimination, victims based upon race, age, sex, national origin, handicap, disability. So those are the values that I will bring to the judgeship. And I don't think it's a bad thing to bring those values. The values I have are for free speech. The values I have are for freedom of assembly. The values I have are for people having the right to protest legally and appropriately. So those are all values that I will bring to the bench. I don't believe that there's an appropriate place for partisanship on the bench. Obviously, you have to make your decisions based upon the law and the facts that apply. But there's also, if you'll see what's going on in the Supreme Court and other courts in this country, what you believe and where you come from makes a big difference. I will make a big difference on the Youngstown Municipal Court.
In 2019, you were on the ballot for municipal court judge. We lost to interim Judge Sullivan. What skills have you gained since 2019 to help you persuade voters to elect you as judge in this election?
Well, a couple of different things. I've been a felony prosecutor for most of the time since then. I've done probably about 2 or 3 jury trials every year since then. And jury trials are very intense. You need to be fully prepared. So I'm very familiar with the rules of evidence. I know how courts operate, and I think I have a good sense of justice there. Also, from the political aspect of your question, I would point out that I won the contested Democratic Party primary in 2019. Mark and I entered that race as an independent candidate, and that was Judge Gonzalo won, but with less than a majority of the votes. This year, it's a different race. It's one-on-one, and I believe that my qualifications, my education, my experience make me the most qualified candidate for judge.
Well, what steps would you take to or address when it comes down to racial disparities in sentencing and bail decisions?
I actually just wrote a appellate brief that addressed those issues. In that particular case, there was a judge that set a plea deadline. Basically, the defendant had to either plead by a certain date, or else he had to go to trial and face the original charges. He couldn't get any plea deal. And I made the argument that that was racially disparate because there is statistical information that African Americans in particular do worse in the plea bargaining process. So I will be aware as a judge, very cognizant of the issues of race and extremely careful that race never enters into a decision, but particularly not to the negative impact on minority communities.
I just lost the next one that I was going to ask you. How would you handle cases involving mental health or substance use? Do you support treatment or punishment?
Well, if the premise of your question is that the source of the individual's criminal activity is a mental health problem, then mental health treatment's the appropriate thing. If the source of the problem is illegal drug use, again, treatment's appropriate. But I think based upon my 24 years as a prosecutor, I can tell who is the person who is willing to accept rehabilitation and respond favorably to it versus those that basically, in my role as a prosecutor, if I made a recommendation that somebody go either to prison or to jail, it wasn't Marty Healy doing it to them, it was they ran all of the other options, okay? So I believe that incarceration should be the last resort, not the first. But I think I also can tell those that are deserving of it and will not be afraid to impose it where necessary.
What lessons from your 2024 Senate campaign do you bring to your judiciary candidacy?
Just that life is a learning experience, okay? And I found that to be a very energizing and enjoyable experience. I saw some of the things that were happening in our society. I didn't like the direction that was potentially going to happen in 2024. Unfortunately, in my opinion, some of those things have come to fruition. And I say that 2025 is the start of the next campaign where we have to put highly qualified people whose values support fighting against fascism and authoritarianism so that we make sure that we have people that care about our community and will protect our community where necessary.
So how will you ensure fair treatment for all residents, especially those from marginalized communities?
We need to make sure that the people get good representation, okay, so that we have, most people in the criminal justice system have court-appointed lawyers. It's very important that the lawyers stay up to date on their cases, know the law. As judge, I will hold everybody accountable that comes into the courtroom. Prosecutors, defense lawyers, defendants, everybody that is part of the system will have to be fully prepared, and I will be fully prepared to do justice as I see fit. And what I'm telling you today is that based upon a 40-year career where I've represented thousands of people, I've prosecuted thousands of people, I have the background, experience, and knowledge necessary to do that correctly.
Give us your closing statement.
Well, I just want to thank you again for this opportunity to speak with you today. I've been involved throughout my entire career, both politically, professionally, trying to make Youngstown better. When I was law director, we were very active in the community, and we successfully created many projects within the city that would include the Doubletree Hotel, the Wick Building, the Wells Building, the Youngstown Amphitheater, and the Youngstown Municipal Court Building. Not that I did those myself, I certainly didn't, okay, but I was part of the process of making Youngstown better. And I have every confidence that if you would like me to be your judge, I will make Youngstown better by serving as your judge honorably, efficiently, and doing diligently my job as Youngstown Municipal Court Judge. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Justice Hoffman. 1 minute for your opening statement, and then we will begin questions and answers.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, thank you for being here. As far as my background, please feel free to look at the city website, it has a lot of my background there. But let me just say at this point, I've been your judge for 7 years. Regardless how some people may think I got there, I won a very extensive election back in 2019. And since I've been on the bench, I have done an awful lot to remove barriers for individuals that are coming before the court. I will continue to do that. I made a promise that I would think innovatively and implement innovative programs, and I've done that. And I'm going to continue to do that. I've done it with our human trafficking court, Grace Court, and now working on a mental health initiative that's gonna affect people throughout the county. I've forged relationships locally and on a state level that will do nothing but enhance and help our community.
Why do you want to continue your work in the municipal court?
This is my assignment. I didn't put myself here. I was put here, and I'm glad I did. I love the people that come before me. I, as a judge, am charged with a different standard, by a different standard. I have to ensure that my community, you, have confidence in the judiciary. And I'm not going to do that by looking through lenses of political affiliation, the lens of gender, sex, race, religion. I'm going to do that by impartially looking at every person that comes into my court as an individual. What are their needs? Where have they come from? Everybody has a story and they bring that into the courtroom. You have to have the character as a judge to sift through that, to know what can I do so that they don't come back? What can I do so that they can be an active and vital part of this community? That's my assignment, and that's why I want 6 more years.
Well, in today's hyper-political climate, how would you keep partisan politics out of your court?
Well, I love that question. This position and this race is non-partisan. It's non-partisan. How can it be otherwise? How are you going to have confidence that when you come into my court, I'm not seeing your political persuasion. I'm not seeing an ideal or an issue that you're voting yay or nay on. The climate is that. But this is a local race. And I will tell you, the people of Youngstown deserve an unbiased, fair, and impartial judge who's going to be able to come in and to make a decision based on the law and the person that they see before them. Period. If the division's going to stop, it's got to start with each one of us. We have to act and speak in a way that does not foster that division. We have to do that. As judge, I have done that and will continue to do so.
You've expanded the suspended license intervention program and launched the Steering Clear Clinic. What are the outcomes of those initiatives?
It's been absolutely amazing. I couldn't have anticipated it growing into what it grew into. The first time that we had that, we had over 300 people come. We were there all day. And since then, it has grown to where area community agencies and community organizations want to partner with us. So when you come into that clinic, you are not only sitting with someone from the B&B and getting your record, figuring it out. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to read your B&B and trying to figure that mess out. You are sitting with someone who's going to tell you exactly what you need to do to help eliminate that barrier. We have job training, we have schools available, we have health, we have sealing of record opportunities. We have grown to the point where now at least 200 people a month that we hold it. We probably handle about 200 individuals. We handle 50, that wouldn't be a month. We limit it to 50. But we always take, I know my baby, both of my girls are here, and one of my former bailiff, we always have taking more. So at least 60 people get treatment get counseled when they come in. And we have it at least 4 or 5 times a summer and we move it around the city so that everybody, it has the opportunity to come and benefit from that. And this is on a Saturday. This is complete volunteer work. And it's extremely successful. Couldn't have imagined it grew to be this big.
How well does the community know about your goals and aspirations?
I don't know. I talk about it all the time. So I don't know. And I'm hoping that this is more of informational talk. I have stuff back there on the table about my grace court, my human trafficking court. We do outreaches for that. I go and I speak. I've actually spoken with Mercy Health and did some training with YPD. We go all over and talk about that. So the answer is I don't know. I'm hoping that they know more after tonight.
You've served on the bench since 2018. What do you consider to be the most impactful contribution to the Youngstown Municipal Court?
I would hope that the most impactful thing would be that when people come before me, that they know that they are being treated fairly and with justice. That's what I would hope. And I think that that has been my biggest impact, is being able to say, what do you need? How can I help you? And at the same time, if you don't want the help, you don't want to change, you gotta go.
Give us your closing statement.
Well, I just thank you all for being here tonight, and I really hope that on November 4th, you do cast a vote for me so that I can continue to work on innovative ways to help this community, to continue to lead with impartiality, integrity, and independence from the bench. That I continue to bring you the programs that you need, not only for you, but for your loved ones and anybody else who comes into the criminal justice system. Thank you. Oh, I have 30 seconds, but I'll let you go.
All of you can be seated in the audience now. Those who are running for school board, if you would come forward and take a seat on the bench. Same thing applies. 1 minute introduction, 7 minutes for questions and answers, and then 1 minute with your closing statement. So the first candidate, Tiana Davis, if you would come forward at this time. Introduce yourself. You have a minute to do that, and then we'll start our questions and answers.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tiana J. Davis, and I'm only 21 years old. I'm proud to stand here before you tonight as a lifelong resident of Youngstown, proud graduate of Summit Academy Secondary High School, where I was valedictorian of my class. I went to Shopping Career and Technical Center, where I was part of the Early Childhood Education Program for the class of 2023. I now serve on the advisory board for the Early Childhood Education Program, where I will continue serving students in the Early Childhood Education Program if I'm elected to serve as a school board member. Today, I am an alumni, educator, mentor, advocate of the Youngstown City School District. I'm currently entering my third year at Youngstown State University, where I'm obtaining my associate's degree in early childhood education.
Let me ask you your first question. How would you recruit and retain highly qualified and motivated educators to take the Youngstown schools to the next level?
So first is really we already have obtained quality educators in our schools. First is really going into our schools and understanding what our teachers are doing in our schools. Second is really more partnering with YSU. As a student of YSU and getting an education degree and hopefully getting my teacher's license next year, we don't see that. We don't see school board members, or we don't see highly qualified people to come in and obtain us. So I hope that I go in and help and understand our teachers.
Next question is, how would you create a classroom experience where the teachers can teach and not spend the majority of their time trying to keep order?
So first, how I see it is when putting students in, if they have a learning disability or having learning things that they can help, is getting more qualified aides and special education teachers in the classroom.
Even with the improved scores of Youngstown Public Schools has received, what would you do to improve reading, math scores from K to 12?
So first is understanding early literacy scores. We currently see what currently are they teaching our students and how we can improve an early curriculum from other districts are using to understand the science of reading and how we could best support. As you see, we first start with our preschoolers, obtaining high qualified professionals that can come and teach our staff to better support our students. We currently don't see that in Youngstown City Schools. In preschool, during my internship, I've asked them that same question, and the teachers have said they don't get that support. They don't get the mentor support. The admin that is there don't even support them. And that is why I'm gonna make sure if I'm on the school board, that we make sure that I get that curriculum to best support them.
Can you explain how the busing procedure will work for students going to the new Youngstown High School and to the Chauffeur Center?
So as of right now, like I said, I'm currently not serving on the board for that. But at the same time, we currently see with them working with the Youngstown Community Bus Center in Warren. So really, I can't answer that question.
Okay, all right, appreciate that. Currently, there is no booster club at East High School. What plans do you have to encourage parents and other members of the community to participate and reignite Booster Club for East High School and the new Youngstown High School to support athletic events along with other fundraising activities?
So the best way is getting support from alumni. We currently see that Youngstown hasn't been getting their alumni in their schools and understanding alumni chapters so they can come and support and mentor our students.
Give us your closing statement.
I know the challenges we face, but I know the strengths of this community because I lived it. I walk the same halls our students walk, and I will never stop advocating for them because I am one of them. So tonight, I humbly ask for your support as I run for Youngstown City Board this 2025, this November. Together, we can build a stronger, more equality future for all our students in Youngstown. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much. Lillian Perry, come forward at this time. This is going to be so unfair. Good evening, because they're going to be the same questions. So give us your opening statement, and then we'll start with 7 minutes of questions and answers, and then your closing statement.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Million Perry Pfeiffer. I'm born and raised in the city of Youngstown. I have given back a lot of my time, of my adulthood, and just giving back to the community. I am a chief executive officer of the Sayers Way Project, where we provide different trades and skills to children and scholars in our community. I'm here today seeking the seat for Youngstown City School Board. I just want to be able to provide more opportunity and support for our teachers and our scholars as we move forward here in the years to come.
So let me ask you, how will you recruit and retain highly qualified and motivated educators to take Youngstown schools to the next level?
So when you say recruit, I do that. In my eyes, it comes a little differently. I mean, we can work with different employment agencies and also make sure that we're doing our own outreach. But I feel that if we had more like, hey, we need teachers here, or hey, we want more support here, I feel like we need to put our foot down and our hands down and also do everything possible to make sure that we can get qualified educators. And doing that is working with other city leaders, county leaders, making sure, even others, making sure that we're have that open line of communication with everyone here in our community.
Then how would you create a classroom experience where teachers can teach and not spend the majority of their time trying to keep order?
That here in our Youngstown City Schools, I would say that's a good question. That's a difficult thing to do because a lot of these children come to school and think that their teacher has to be the parent. So it kind of hinders them providing a good education for the children when you have a classroom that's out of order. So what I'll say is more support from as soon as they get in the door, and also more support at home. And then another thing as well, holding the children accountable and making sure that discipline, when they do act in the classroom or disrespect the teacher or another student, that discipline is put in place the proper way. And also make sure that the parents know, like, listen, we need to get this child together before we come to school because we can't spend all day parenting, we need to teach.
Even with the improved scores in the Youngstown City Schools, what would you do to improve reading, math scores from K to 12?
Again, more connection. I feel like tutoring and I wouldn't say summer school, but I would say more so. At Youngstown City Schools, we can implement a program where it's like summer school, but it's not. It's basically getting a child prepared for the school year. If they might have had some fall shorts in the previous year, but being able to provide a program or class to prepare them for the next year is something that we do to make sure that that's being done.
Can you explain how the budget procedure work for the students going to the new Youngstown High School and Chopin Center?
I currently don't sit on the board, so I cannot answer that question.
Well, I got one more. Currently, there is no booster club at East High School. What plans do you have to encourage parents and other members of the community to participate and reignite the booster club for East High School as well as the new Youngstown High School to improve athletic events along with other fundraising activities?
Building a relationship with the parents, making sure the teachers have that connection, the principals, the guidance counselor, being able to have open transparency and, let the parent know, like, hey, your kids out here doing this good. You should be here to support. Because when the kid goes out there and is playing sports and they look in the crowd and their family's not there, that makes them feel some type of way. So being there and being able to hold the parents accountable, you know what I mean? It's not wrong for the teacher, they have to do that.
Give us your statement.
Okay. So, this election is not about me. It's not politics. It's about us being able to make sure they have the opportunity, support to move on forward in the next generation. We want our babies to go to college. We want our babies to be able to buy a house here in Youngstown. We see our city is growing, businesses is growing. So being able to provide and let our scholars know, like, hey, this is the opportunity, this is the way that you can take it, not always what you see. So being able to provide more and open their eyes to more is what I'm going to do, and that's why I'm asking for your vote.
Thank you so much. Joseph, it's your turn.
Okay.
Step up to the mic.
First of all, there's some styles out there, but look so somber. All right.
Finish your 1 minute opening statement, and then we'll start the questions and answers.
Joe Moranto. I've spent my entire career, over 50 years in education. Elementary principal, teacher, athletic direct coach, high school principal. Came back to Youngstown, never left Youngstown, but while I was in Youngstown, working for the Catholic schools, I came back to the Youngstown City Schools, became the director of Shofford Career Center, did that for 14 years. Then I was superintendent under the infamous House Bill 70 CEO. I don't want to talk about that, but I was superintendent, gave me an opportunity to work with operations and other things. And when I retired, I said I would continue to serve. And when the opening of the school board, because of Dawn Turner's taking a position out of town, the school board was kind of to appoint me unanimously. I ran a prior term, and here I am again, still willing to serve and help the kids and the community.
Well, let me ask you this question. How would you recruit and retrain highly qualified and motivated educators?
We gotta pay them, first of all. Our teachers, first of all, teachers everywhere. My daughter's a teacher, my grandson's a teacher, my son-in-law's a teacher, I was a teacher. Our teachers are disrespected and not paid enough in this country, in this state, and in Youngstown. And we are gonna do the best we can to use our resources to make sure that we can pay them. But I'd say another thing, when I was at Chaffin, I started a program, and I'm gonna reinstitute it now on the board, they're already talking about it, where I specifically wanted to recruit young black males going to our schools to come back and be teachers. That's what we need to do. We need to grow our own, and that would be a way to attract teachers, keep them here, because they have a vested interest already in the city of Youngstown and other kids.
So how would you create a classroom experience where the teachers can teach and not have to take the majority of their time to keep order?
That's a question after my own heart. 50 years ago when I started teaching, here's what they gave me. They gave me the books and said, go teach. And we did. And we taught kids, and we influenced kids, we had great relationships. We were all caught up with comparing kids against kids, schools against schools. That's so wrong. Every child is different. Anybody out there have kids know they're all different. My daughter has twins, they're like night and day. We can't expect, there's not standardized kids, so why should we have standardized tests judging us? Let the teachers teach. They're the experts, they know what they're doing. We've taken the life and the fun out of teaching and education. We gotta put it back in, and that's not hard. Let them do their job.
So even with the improved scores of Youngstown City Schools, what would you do to improve reading math scores K to 12?
First thing we do, let's tell the truth. The truth is, the reading, the reason our scores, our standardized tests, once again, that's what we're judging them by, which isn't fair, go across the country. You think all the urban districts have the worst teachers, worst schools? No. The other issues need to be addressed. Mental health services, kids dealing with trauma, nutrition, socioeconomics. Those, we gotta get those solved. And early childhood is essential. I'm proud to say we have preschool in Youngstown, and I can't believe what we're gonna do, but next year it's even gonna be better. And preschool, because our kids come in at a disadvantage. That's not blaming parents. That's the fact. And the fact is, we have to give more resources to those that need it. We give those young kids the resources and step up. That's what equity is about. And we need to do that here in Youngstown. And we will, and we are.
Can you explain how the busing procedure will work for students that are going to go to the new Youngstown High School and Chopin Center?
Sure can. We experimented with, once again, after I retired, I was called back by the CEO, asked if I'd help out for a year with transportation. I didn't do it as a retiree, I don't believe in that. I came back as a consultant and worked down there, and I had my eyes open about transportation. But I don't know if people know this or not. We are busing in Youngstown 34 buildings because we're responsible for every kid who lives in Youngstown, whatever school they go to, parochial school, we bus kids to Girard, we bus them to Struthers, we bus the charters. That's okay. That's the taxpayer. They get that right. But you have to understand our problem. So we did away with high school busing like they've done in many districts across the state. Look at it. Columbus, Cincinnati, went to the public system. I'm here to tell you it didn't work. And we are already, as a board, talking about how we're going to get back to busing our kids, and we will. If I have anything to say about it, and if I'm not on the board, I'm still going to have something to say about it. We got to get it back, and we will. And we're going to do it.
And currently, there's no booster club at East High School. What plans do you have to encourage parents and other members of the community to participate and reignite the booster clubs for East High School and the new Youngstown High School?
Okay, first of all, it's going to be the new high school. It's going to be Youngstown High School. We already got the mascot. We already got the name of the high school. We've had community input. We had our students in Youngstown give us ideas, and they chose the name Defender. Some people don't like it, but when you look at it, it's pretty cool. And what we need to do is go beyond just the parents. We need to get this community back supporting our schools. A lot of people are my age, we're all older, retired. we gotta get us to support the schools and realize if we help these kids, everybody's future kids, including theirs. We have lost the community, and that's not unique to Youngstown. We gotta get it back. We gotta get this community helping our kids. Simple.
What's your closing statement?
My closing statement is this. I told you, I'm gonna say running for the board. I'm not running against any of these people. You know, it's all whoever you want, pick 3 of us, and that's fine. And I am here to say the same I said when I retired. Okay? I may be retiring, but I'm not quitting. And if I win, I'll be it. And if I'm not, I will help this board, I will help our superintendent and everybody else until I can't help anymore. Thank you. Thank you.
Right, Reverend Tim Brown.
Thank you, Bishop Hips.
1 minute, opening statement, then questions and answers.
Good evening. Just want to say thank you to Union Baptist Church for this opportunity to stand before you fine people. I'm running the write-in campaign for the Youngstown City School Board because I believe our children deserve schools that work for them, not against them. For over 10 years, I have been on the front lines fighting House Bill 70, working with the Community Leadership Coalition on Education, and standing with parents, teachers, and legislators to protect local control of our schools. This campaign isn't about politics, it's about purpose. It's about raising student achievement, reducing absenteeism, strengthening early literacy, and providing our young people with real pathways to college and careers. I'm running because Youngstown cannot afford to settle for 2 stars, 2.5 stars at this time over the past 3 years. Thank you.
How would you recruit and retain highly qualified and motivated educators for Youngstown?
Through recruiting firms, establishing a relationship with Youngstown City School District with YSU, which has an outstanding education department. Through word of mouth, teachers talking to other teachers that discuss the benefits of working here in the Youngstown City School District.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had a little more.
No, sir.
That's okay, not a problem. How would you create a classroom experience where teachers can teach instead of trying to manage and keeping order in their classrooms?
I have some friends who work in the school system. The biggest problem right now is our children are not being taught at home. So when they come into school, they do not have the basic tools in order to do what is required in school. The biggest thing, if it's not being done at this time, will be student aids. When I grew up, there were student aids in the classroom. You've got student aids now in the classroom. They can help take some of the pressure off the teacher. They can actually give some attention to those students who are being disruptive and allow the teacher additional time to teach what they are supposed to teach in that classroom.
So even with the improved scores in Youngstown City Schools, what would you do to improve reading math scores K through 12?
You have to establish a foundation beginning with the K through 3. You have to build that foundation, so there should be some intensive teaching on reading, attention to mathematics. We have to be able to give the students a foundation of which to build upon. You cannot wait until the 7th, 8th grade or the 9th grade through 12 and expect the student to perform at a particular level or to reach a particular standard that is established by the state of Ohio if they do not have a proper foundation to build upon. So we have to have intensive literacy programs in place as well as mathematics. And if needed, provide tutors, whether it's tutoring 3 to 5 times a week, whether you set aside blocks of tutoring through a summer program, because our students lose a lot of what they learned during the school year. And during the course of the summer, that which they have lost, now they have to relearn when school year begins once again.
So, can you explain the busing procedure that's going to work for our students for the new Youngstown High School and Shuffle?
Well, I'm not a school board member. I do not know what plans they have in place. But there has been a problem with the busing in the city of Youngstown for many years. I believe Rancho stated some of that. This is something that's not new because of the number of schools and the requirement that Youngstown City School District provide outlying schools and transporting their students as well. You're taking away the school district. We're not paying our drivers a wage that's sufficient for them to live on. That's one of the reasons why they cannot retain bus drivers, because they pay them a low wage. $18 an hour in today's economy does not get it. It's not enough. It may supplement a family. When you got buses and a limited number of buses to cover all the schools that need to be covered, it's just undoable at this time. Something done on the state level legislation, which some school districts are responsible for just their school district. For those who want to go outside of the Youngstown City School District, whether by vouchers, school choice, let them come up with a way to transport their children to a school district outside of Youngstown. I think Youngstown needs to focus more on Youngstown.
Currently, there's no club. What would you do to reignite and garner participation for a booster club in the new Youngstown High School that will support athletics and basically fundraising activities?
School board members, first and foremost, need to be cheerleaders. Give me a Y, give me a O, so on and so forth. We have to build and create that atmosphere for our booster clubs. I got to laugh about that myself. What we need to do is reach out to, and it has been said already, our alumni. I favored schools that I graduated from. We all do. Currently, right now, these high schools, I believe, have the best alumni association going on right now. Not because the community, they are engaged. They do things outside of the school. They have their own reunions. And we can do the same thing. We just have to have the right heart behind our children. The community won't be as good as the schools.
Closing statement.
Yeah, next time. I am a retired firefighter. I am endorsed by the National One Black Caucus. I serve as assistant to the pastor church. I am running because our kids deserve better. I believe my children are our present as well as our future. Youngstown will not rise until our school system and our children rise. We all rise together. So if we take care of our children, they will take care of us.
Thank you. Pastor Kenneth Donaldson. anything else, because he know karate.
Taekwondo. Self-defense. Don't start now, it won't be done.
1 minute opening statement, then questions and answers, and then 1 minute at the end for your closing statement.
Yes, sir. My name is Kenneth Donaldson. I am currently the pastor of Rising Star Baptist Church and seeking a second term here for the Youngstown City School Board. When I ran the first time, I ran on leadership, I ran on accountability, I ran on transparency. And that's what we've had over the past 3 years. We have made significant strides. And in order for educational cycles to be completed, we've got to let our leaders do what we hired them to do. Much of what we've been hearing this evening is what we will do as board members, but ultimately, the responsibility of the board is to hire the superintendent and the treasurer and oversee what they're doing. So a lot of what people think we can do is outside of our responsibilities.
With that being said, how would you recruit and retain, whatever process you participate in, highly qualified and motivated educators to take Youngstown schools to the next level?
We continue to hire highly qualified leaders that change the trajectory of our educational system. We rewrite our own story and let the community know what we've been doing well, as opposed to allowing the negativity to override what's happening in our school system. So that's what we do. As a board member, we hire the superintendent, he hires qualified people, and we give him the support that he needs to continue to recruit the best quality teachers.
So how would you create a classroom experience where teachers can teach instead of spending most of their time trying to keep order in the classroom?
We hire the superintendent who hires qualified people, and we give them the support that they need. Certainly, Mr. Maranto and others have alluded to, we've got challenges with kids with mental health issues and so on, and poverty and so many other issues. But the key is leadership. Everything starts with leadership. When we hire proper leadership and allow them to lead and give them the support that they need to lead, then we will see a change. And we've been seeing a change over the past 3 years because we've hired very, very qualified leaders.
So with that being said, and the improved scores of Youngstown Public Schools, what would you do to improve the reading and math scores K to 12?
But we're already doing that. We have systems in place where we're improving the reading. And we just, to be honest, we need to get out of the way and let those professionals do what they're hired to do. They have done extreme deep research in reading and math, and so they know the resources that are needed to help increase our kids' capacity to read. So what we need to do as board members is to support them and allow them to do what they have been hired to do. Historically, what we've done as a community is we've tried things, and when we don't see the results in a few years, we decide that we gotta do something else. So we are knee-jerk reacting to things not going as quickly as we want them to go. And so we've gotta just trust the process and allow the system to work out for the benefit of our kids. We're going to have to trust our leaders.
So can you explain the busing procedure that's going to take place for the new Youngstown High School in Chauvin?
No. I cannot. You know, we're talking about a lot of stuff and nothing is really set in stone, so no, I cannot.
Currently, there's no booster club in East High School, so what would you do to encourage parents and the community to participate or reignite the booster club in Youngstown High School?
We currently some advisory boards that Mr. Bachelor, our superintendent, is overseeing, and that includes a community advisory board. And so what needs to happen is those who are really, really interested in being a booster to represent their school, they need to contact Mr. Batchelor, because we're all for alumni supporting our young people. We already have that in process.
Give us your
Just get connected.
Give us your closing statement.
As a pastor, as a leader in the community, as you know, Pastor, everything starts at leadership. Who you have leading, the leaders determine the trajectory of any organization. And I ran on leadership, I ran on transparency. I visit every school in our district regularly. And anybody that works in the Youngstown City School District knows that I'm an avid visitor because I want to support our teachers. We have excellent, qualified teachers, and we just need to give them the support that they need to do the job that they're hired to do. And so I'm asking for another term. So vote for Kenneth Maurice Donaldson, Sr., Roy Donaldson's son, and Rob Donaldson's husband.
Tina?
Oh, you're not gonna try that full name?
Oh, heck no.
Oh, come on.
No, I done messed that name up so many times, I don't even try no more. Give us your opening statement, then we'll do questions and answers, and closing statement. You got one?
Okay, my name's Tina Savakovich. I am a lifelong resident of Youngstown, Ohio. I graduated from East County School, class of '88, and from Youngstown State University in 2013 with a bachelor's degree in social work. I work for Mahoney County Children's Services. Currently, I am considered a family peer mentor, and what that is a person with lived experience from substance use disorder and previous experience with the child welfare industry. And now I help families that are coming through Children's Services to navigate their case plan, help them find a pathway to recovery, and that's where my work is professionally. And I've been on the board for 8 years, and I am against the state messing with our public education. They need to mind their business.
How would you recruit highly qualified and motivated educators for Youngstown?
We are currently doing that right now. We are working with Youngstown State University, and we are about to get 5 student teachers from the teaching program. They're going to begin working in our school district at the beginning of the year to help some of our scholars in those subject areas that need extra support. Mathematics, I think, is the main focus.
So with that being said, how can you create classroom experience where the teachers can teach rather than spending the majority of their time trying to keep order?
Like a lot of the other members said before me, it takes our community to get involved. We need wraparound services in our school district to take on those subject areas where our students need help, the mental health issues, the food insecurity. We live in a food desert. We have food insecurities here in our city. So we need to bring in those wraparound services to help our families with those other outside issues that they have, so that when their kids come to school, they can focus on learning and they don't have to worry about when they go home, are they gonna have something to eat. Food pantries in the school district. We've got one in Shofit. We need to put more of those in our buildings so that when a child says they're hungry, somebody can grab a bag and put something in it for them to take home.
Even with the improved scores in Youngstown schools, what would you do to improve reading and math scores?
It's about putting support systems in to help the children that need the extra help so that they can be where they are and be able to progress through the subject matter, giving the teachers the supports that they need. so that they can provide a quality education and so that they can offer the extra supports to the students while they're in the classroom, so that when it's time to take those tilted state tests that don't show the truth, that they're somewhat prepared and can pass those tests.
Well, can you explain the busing procedure that will work for the new Youngstown High School and Chopin?
So, I kind of got yelled at the board retreat this past weekend, because at Pastor Simon's forum in his church, I said, I guarantee. So, with that being said, we are 98% of the way towards that busing. There's multiple layers. Like Joe said, we are transporting kids out of our district. We are transporting all the charter schools. So it's a huge balance to make sure we have enough buses to make it to everybody and have backup for when someone calls off. Because if you get three calls, that means you've got 3 school buildings because there's nobody to fill in for those calls. So everything takes boarding is there. We gotta make sure the state is giving us the equitable dollars that we need to cover the expense of transportation. Transportation is very expensive, but like somebody else said, if the charters and the parochials would bus their own kids, we would not have this problem.
Well, what shall we say to these? No. There's no booster club in this. What would you do to reignite, to encourage parents, community, to get the booster club started again for Youngstown High School that would support athletic events as well as raise money?
So we currently have an all-district alumni group. That means any previous school that was in Youngstown, that was in high school, Rand, South, Wilson, everybody that was a graduate of Youngstown State Schools can be a part of this all-city district alumni and begin building up. That's for when we merge schools for next year, then that way that will be there. Also, the increasing the parents that come into the building and be a part of the parent success programs that we have, and getting them to be a part of the building when we merge.
Give us your closing statement.
So, I've been a board member for 8 years. I am a proud member of this community. I am also very active in the community. I am a member of Action. I'm Action's vice president, and I would really appreciate your vote for me in November at the election so that I continue the work that we've been working towards these last 4 years. I want to see it through, and I want to be a part of the success that we are already seeing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can go back out in the audience now. You can be seated. Keep Pastor Donaldson away from me. Well. We need Derek McDowell and Tito Brown to come forward at this time. We're going to start with Derek McDowell, and we're going to ask you to come forward 1 minute for your opening statement, and then we will begin our questions and answers, and you can begin right now.
I just want to thank you to all in attendance tonight. Thank you for Union Baptist for hosting and the team for the work they do. My name is Derek McDowell. I belong to the city of Youngstown. I was born here at Northside Hospital. I reside here in the city of Youngstown. And this is a city that I love deeply. You may know me from the small business that I run called the Youngstown Fleet. It is a business that incubates and supports other local small businesses. We just had a market supporting over 80 to 90 vendors past Saturday. Those are the businesses that will go on to be the brands that we support in our community. I'm a graduate of Cheney High School in 1998, and I attended Youngstown State University for about 3 years before going on to start a family and get a corporate leader team. And so as I am, I encourage you to go to my website to learn more about McDowell for Mayor.
First question is, the role of mayor includes overseeing the city's government and its responsibilities of overall administrative operations of the city. With no political experience, what qualifications do you have to run for mayor?
Thank you for that question. I think that the thing to look at is not just political experience, it's experience, oversight, where you find it. There's in the leadership experience I carry in T for 2.5 years. There's insight and experience that you carry when you run a business for yourself for 10 years. There's oversight of all of those vendors that we talk about. And so there are departments within AT&T that you have to account to. It's a bargain union environment I had to account to. There are auditors that I had to own small business now. I oversee a project right now of $2.75 million in renovating a building that is in our downtown that will go on and support our community. So that experience is not lacking because I don't have the background in politics.
So what could you learn from the Warren Champion in Lordstown to replicate their success in attracting businesses?
I think we had a study that told us recently from our economic development department hiring an outside firm to tell us that if we want businesses to come to the city of Youngstown, we must first learn to treat the businesses that are here. And if our environment is inviting to those businesses, the ones that have been here, I watched the same thing in my time at AT&T. Every deal, and it sends an offensive statement to our existing loyal customers. And so our existing businesses have a right to realize the same success that we're inviting new businesses to come here with. And that enrollment, that treatment of our current businesses will tell people that this is the place they want to do business.
So with that being said, if elected, what would be your top priorities and how would you measure that success?
Absolutely. The top priorities, I believe, is Youngstown has a challenge in City Hall being deeply and fully transparent, looking at the leadership of every one of our departments and every one of our employees and making sure that they align with the future of where we want to go. The community is asking us for more transparency. They're asking us for more accountability in the failed projects and the successful ones as well. We want to be a part of what's going on in our own community, and we're not seeing that. So we have to begin there. We cannot, in my opinion, correct on in our city of Youngstown until we have deep leadership that sees what's going on from City Hall out to the city. That's where it flows.
So how would you define leadership? And how will you lead the city government about prior experience in office?
Again, I believe that these are semantics when you talk about public office, because leadership is something that we define as a position in which you have folks who want to follow you. I'm in that position. I've been in that position for 12 years at AT&T, where I went in and fixed failing stores with teams that want to follow my lead. There are plenty of people who have followed my lead in the city of Youngstown, running the Youngstown Fleet. They have trusted me with their businesses to come on to build them into better businesses. That is leadership. That is an example of people who want to follow someone who can take them where they want to go and realize their dreams. You have seen me lead in community efforts around Realty Tower, around the violence and crime. You have seen me lead, and so prior public office does not discount the leadership that I've demonstrated to this community.
So crime has always been a top priority. So if elected mayor for the city of Youngstown, what is your plan to improve public safety while building trust between law enforcement and community?
I think public safety isn't just the work of law enforcement, that's the work of our entire community. And so we've got to first begin with where we can, and that is our law enforcement. They are known as Youngstown's finest, and they have to realize an environment that is conducive to that. They need equipment, they need a building that is conducive to being Youngstown's finest. They need staffing that shows that we value them and not mandating overtime. We need the attraction of new officers because the environment is leading them here, not because we're resting on a narrative that tells us there's a shortage, but because it's the place where we cut our teeth and create Youngstown's finest. And then we can begin with our block watches, our neighborhood groups. Those are the people who have raised hands over and over again in our community and said to us that we want to help with safety. We want to help reduce crime and violence. We want to engage our youth. We need to catch them well before they ever hit the streets and make sure that they see a bright and beautiful future using school board and education, using entrepreneurship and opportunities to build their own business and realize legitimate money in their pockets before they have to turn to the streets. So it's an all-encompassing community effort.
Many parts of Youngstown still struggle with vacant abandoned property. What specific programs would you support or rehabilitate or repurpose for these properties?
I think what we first need to do is take inventory. I've been canvassing our community for the last 11 months. I can tell you that on average, the streets that I've been canvassing, they have still a minimum 3 to 5 vacant homes. And we need to inventory these homes and their conditions and then find out who those property owners are and begin to position the resources like Bonnie County Land Bank, like the programs that teach us about home ownership and tell them you can own one of these homes well before they come to get dilapidated and need torn down.
Closing statement.
I just want to say to the people of Youngstown that I love you. I love you, and that is not predicated on anything other than a love that I'm learning over and over and over and over again every day as I try and represent you the best way I can. I have a love for the city that birthed me. I have a love for the city that took from me, and a love for a city that even though it took from me, I decided that I would take from it. I would do more to give my life away to this city. And so if you see what I see, which is the opportunity to present Youngstown in a fresh, bold, new way, leadership is proven. Leadership that's proven, then I would ask for you to investigate me more and vote for me down for mayor on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mayor Brown.
Good evening.
1 minute, 8 minutes, 1 minute.
Here we go. Time. Well, first of all, I want to say good evening to everyone who's here. My name is Tito Brown. I'm the 51st mayor of the city of Youngstown. For the time we have here today, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to tell you where we were when I took over this job 8 years as mayor. I want to tell you where we are now. I want to tell you where we're going in the future. I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Youngstown. I'm educated. I'm Youngstown City School Board, City Council, President Council. I have both my bachelor's and my master's degree from Youngstown State University. I married the former Lynette Frost. Best thing I ever did was marry an East Side girl. I want to let you know tonight we're going to talk about where we were, what we've done. We know the problems. the issues, what's the solutions? For the last 8 years, we've been facing those solutions. We've been facing those tough times. We're not afraid to get in front of them. We're not afraid to give it to you. We're not where we want to be. We're not where we used to be.
What's your vision for Youngstown over the next 4 years?
Over the next 4 years, 3 things I want to make sure we accomplish. I would love to see us at some point with our fiscal responsibilities. We grew our revenue from $176 million to $2 million. I want to be a city that they say we're debt free. We have low debt, credit rating. Now we call that just to even borrow. I want to borrow needs to borrow. That's the same thing. We have our flock cameras. We have our cameras. We need to give our opportunity for our business now to get in and give us their cameras, their cameras, so our police can see those communities in real time, real-time data center. The other thing is we want to make sure the next 2 years, we want to invest about $21 million in housing in the city of Youngstown. And by 2030, we want to make sure we create 500 new homes, doors in the city of Youngstown. Those are bold statements, but that's what we want to do. And we want to make sure that this innovation hub with aerospace and defense is open, and the next generation, these young men and women that are here today, they'll have a future in the city of Youngstown. That's what I want to do for the vision of the city of Youngstown.
If elected, what are your top priorities and how will you measure success?
If elected, we want to finish the job we started. Our $82.7 million, we have to finish that. We want to make sure that we're going to make sure our parks, we put $10 million in Parks and Rec. I've only had one ribbon cutting. We want to cut those ribbons. We want to make sure that if you want to be a good homeowner in the city of Youngstown, you can do that. We're going to invest $10,000, 5 down payment, 5 in energy efficiency. I told the story when I bought my first home in the city of Youngstown. 2002, we had down payment assistance, but the infrastructure was so behind. I had old knob and tube wiring. I had to invest more money. We want to make sure you want to be a new homeowner in the city of Youngstown. We can help you. But what about those people who are still living there? We want to make sure we can help you as well. We got a facade program. We'll match up to $10,000. Doors, windows, siding, no roofs. What is it? No roofs, right? We can't invest in roofs. So if you've been there, we want to invest in you. We want to make sure we keep you there. But also we want to make sure if you want to buy new homes, there'll be opportunities in the city of Youngstown to buy new homes. And that has not happened in years.
So what strategies have you used to attract new businesses and create jobs in Youngstown, and how successful has that been?
One of the things we talk about is our job creation grant, where we partner with the employer and we talk about income tax. Everyone talks about income tax too high. So we started on the city council. We started where we do a pare down, and we share in that income tax revenue spending for our businesses that are here. Trivium, we have Steel Light, and I think I can say it now, Valorant Steel will be expanding as well pretty soon. They're going to have a groundbreaker. So we're doing that, we're sharing, we're growing together. That's how we're able to take our revenues from $176 million to $220 million. Because businesses are here, we're helping them stay. But those that want to come in, we're helping them figure out what are the two resources and toolbox grow. Our economic development plan said it best. Say, listen, learn, and do. That's what we're doing. That's why my been so successful in economic development, so we can make it stronger for the next generation.
So if reelected, what unfinished business from your previous terms do you plan on accomplishing or prioritizing?
I want to see my babies go from K to grade. My infant mortality center, this fourth quarter, we want to make sure that our infant mortality with the Village of Healing will be open. That way we can make sure our babies, our African-American babies, are 3 times less likely to live and see their first birthday. I want to see them get to their first birthday, but I want to take them from K to grade so that we can make sure we invest in their future and their next generation.
How will your third term be different from your first 2, and what lessons did you learn?
Let me start with the lessons I've learned. I've learned that, there's a relationships you have to build. As a leader, I learned that there's three people out there. There's Democrat, there's Republican, and there's mayors. And as a mayor, I've embraced that. I don't care where if I go to the State House or the White House, we're represented well. And I've learned that when you get in there, as long as you put the people of Youngstown first, as long as you put the people who you work for first, the job is simple. And that's what I've been doing, making sure that I continue to put Youngstown citizens first. One of the things we want to make sure we continue to do, and we want to make sure we have a healthier neighborhood. We're going to continue investing in our neighborhoods wherever you live across the city. We're going to invest in making sure we remove the blighted properties. If you have nuisance in your neighborhood, we will make sure we continue to remove those nuisances. Every neighborhood, no matter where you live, we want you to feel like, you know what, I love it here. I live like that. I'm not going anywhere. We want all of our citizens to feel that way.
What changes have you made to improve public safety and to reduce crime in Youngstown?
I think right now, at 56% reduction, 20% overall, we started looking at how do we look at intervention and prevention. We're working with our young people at an early age. We're finding them, we're letting them know, here's where we see you. We know you can be the shooter or you can be a victim. And we want to make sure we get some resources to offer to you. Through our SERVE program, we used to just do it at the adult level. Now we're doing it at the youth level. We got to make sure we get to our young people early, but also we got to give them resources. We got to give them opportunities. We got to tell them there's a better life out there for you. And we give them different opportunities to meet people and see the consequences of their reactions.
I was trying to make the camera keep up with you.
I'm apologizing.
That's okay. That's okay. Is it closing statement? Oh, I'm sorry. Closing statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, first, thank you for allowing me to serve as your mayor for the last 8 years. When I started this job, I said I would cave the money, power, and politics. And I realized when you say that, you got to stand by that. When you don't cave, you get opposition. When you don't compromise, you get opposition. But at the end of the day, I keep you first. And I'm asking, when you go to the polls on or before November 4th, please consider voting to Mel Tito Brown for mayor of the city of Youngstown. God bless you and thank you for having me.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank everyone that came to hear what the candidates have said. Hopefully you learned something at this event that will help you at the polls. I also would like to remind everybody that voting starts tomorrow. And everybody knows who they want to vote for. And we never tell anybody who to vote for, but what we do say is to vote. You have to have a voice because votes count and your voice needs to be heard. I want to make sure that everybody knows that Ohioans aged 17 and older can get a free state ID card at the BMV. This applies to both initial issuance of ID and for renewal of duplicates or replacements. To get a free ID, you need to visit the BMV location and provide proof of your legal age, date of birth, legal presence in the United States, your social security number, and your Ohio street address. Also, make sure you and family members have your appropriate identification when to the poll. Ohio or state of Ohio ID card, term ID form issued by the OBMV, or U.S. passport, a U.S. passport, National Guard ID, or the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs ID card. All photos must have the following: an expiration date that has not passed, a photograph of the voter, the voter's name, which must substantially conform to the voter that appears in the poll list or in the poll book. Something to know is that an Ohio driver's license, state ID card, or interim documentation with former address is an acceptable form of ID when your current address is in the poll book. All this information is on the state of Ohio's website. It's important that everybody know these things. There is going to be an event on October 14th that's going to be hosted by the alumni chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. It is an event that is going to give you information about what's new in Medicare. This event is going to take place on Saturday, October 14th at 10 a.m. at Canadates Church. And I'm sure that that information is very important for everybody to know. And if you know someone that needs this information and they can't attend, it would be a very good thing if you would come and get the information and take it back to those people that need it. So I, again, would like to thank everybody. Please make sure you visit our literature table back there. The Women's League of Voters have left information regarding voter information.
Just had a question.
Yeah.
You said the Delta event is October 14th or 18th?
14th.
14th is the Tuesday.
Well,
Hold on just a second.
after St. Maybe I'm going to
The flyer that was sent to me is the new in medicine, October 14th, 10 a.m., Tabernacle Baptist Church. That's the flyer.
That's so it's Tuesday.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're very
You're
welcome.
so welcome.
So, if you're able to attend, please make sure you attend that event. And again, visit the literature table back there. The Women's League of Voters has information back there about the candidates. They have a card there. I think you can scan for 411 information. It'll give you voter information, and it will also give you the opportunity to check your voter registration status. Thank you very much. Pastor will give us our final prayer and our final benediction.
I want to thank our core team for doing an excellent job at this forum and the hard work that Kim and her crew does. I want to thank God for each and every one of you who came out. Those who have been watching via stream, we are thankful for you as well. The only thing that I want to encourage us is to please vote. I don't care who you vote for. Vote. If things don't go right because you didn't, I need us to understand that. We live in an age now where every vote counts wherever it is being counted. And we want to make sure that we do that, okay? I got somebody I'm going to bring up here because this is what he does to me. And I'm able to pay him back now for old and new Pastor Kenneth Simon. Every time I come to his forum, he drags me up here to close us out in prayer. Well, guess what? Tonight is your night, sir. So put your hands together for Pastor Simon.
I want to thank Pastor Harrison and the core team of the Baptist Church for putting this forum on tonight. The forum that was at Bethel is not Pastor Simon's forum. It is the Community Mobilization Coalition forum we just hosted at the church. We want to thank each of you for your participation in both forums because it's critical for our community. We're going to close out in a word of prayer. Thank you. So I want to thank all the candidates for their participation in the forums because that really matters. That means that you respect the people, that you respect the electors that are going to put you in office. Let's look to the Lord as we dismiss in prayer. Gracious God, our Father, we give you thanks and praise for the opportunity to share in this most meaningful, insightful, and informative forum on tonight. We thank you for the candidates. We thank you for this audience. And we thank you for the leadership of this church that have put this forum together. We do ask your blessings upon us as we leave this place. We leave here informed, and we leave here enlightened, inspired, but we really want to leave here empowered by your Spirit to do what you would have us to do to make this city of ours the best that it can be and all that it can be through the leadership that we elect. Guide us through this election season. Guide us through it, God, and let your will be done. Bless us now as we leave from this place, but never from your divine presence. Do let your love, grace, and peace go with us. In your name we pray and give thanks.